everybody, it's Misty with Advanced Care Chiropractic, and today I have the distinct pleasure of being here with Miss Tami Kromer. She is an amazing woman and mom, and she has started Clara's Hope quite some time ago now. And today we're here to talk about Clara's Hope and what it's all about and what your story is. So can you start with your story for us? Tell us a little bit more about
Well, sure. Clara's Hope began from our family's own story. We are an adoptive family and a foster family, and we weren't going to do foster care. We were just going to adopt, and kind of the Lord had a little different story for us. So long story short, when we did foster care originally, we didn't know what we were doing, and we didn't know what to ask for, what help to ask for, or even what help we needed. So as we went along, we kind of learned that. And we pursued, we ended up adopting the first two children that we took into foster care. Their birth mom lived with us, and we really worked hard at maintaining that first family. Oh, wow. And that didn't quite work out that way, but we're so grateful for our kiddos. And we were done because that was really, really hard, and we felt like our family was full. And then my husband kept saying, well, maybe if you're ready. And I wasn't, and then just something happened. We visited a friend who had a baby they'd adopted that had a medical issue, and we thought they were crazy. They brought her home, and she was born without a brain, and she lived for 55 days, and Selah had a beautiful life. But it was so heartbreaking, I couldn't imagine that. Well, then these same friends adopted another little one who had a genetic issue that he wasn't going to live for too long. And when we went to visit them, when we took him dinner, because that's just what you do.
Right, of course.
And held this little one, and something touched me and my husband and at the same time. And when we got home, we said, I think we could do that. And wow. So we couldn't do it, but through the Lord's help, we could. So we started pursuing adoption of a little one with maybe medical special needs. And that soon became a focus, pursued a few things, and then I got an email on August 16th of 2012 of this beautiful little girl with a great big bow in her hair. She was 4 days old, and she was in the hospital, and her name was Clara. And when I looked at her, I knew that was our daughter. So Clara was born with a condition called hydranencephaly, which basically means instead of a brain, she had two fluid-filled sacs. So her head was really heavy. She had a shunt. She was blind. She couldn't eat on her own just because those reflexes weren't quite working, so she had a feeding tube. And though she couldn't see and she couldn't speak, she still could smile. She had preferences. She had people she liked and people she didn't prefer. That was funny. And she would calm at the sound of anyone in our family's voice. Aww. And we brought her home when she was 3 months old from Arizona. We pursued her adoption. When we announced to the world we were adopting, people came out of the woodwork to help, like I've never seen. We had businesses, people from our church community, people from the school community, just the community at large come and say, we want to help you. We want to do things. So they brought us dinner. People clean my toilets. I don't even know who cleaned my toilets. So if it was you, thank you. They took our other kids out for regular life. Like they went to the movies and they took them out for play dates and maybe ran errands for us. And it came and held Clara so I could get a shower. And it was beautiful, and it was tragic, and it was hard. But Clara lived for 8 months and 8 days. When she passed away, that was difficult, to say the least, still is. But my husband and I looked at each other and said, this is the way it's supposed to be. Wow. So we can't stop. So we kind of just started not knowing what we were going to do. When we started under the umbrella of Freedom Center Church in Fenton, they offered us all of their building, their accounting, their insurance. Wow. And they said, you can do, we see your vision, go for it. So we just kind of started. We became our own nonprofit in 2020. So we are officially Clara's Hope, a 501c3 organization. And it's so exciting to see what's happened now since 2013 and then 2015 when we became Clara's Hope. and then now as a nonprofit, we just see movement and helping families that are local here in Genesee and Livingston County move from simply surviving or thinking they're just not going to make it to thriving because, maybe they get a meal once a month or they just have the support they didn't know they needed.
I think a lot of times, people that aren't in that situation, people that aren't
Yes.
adoptive families or foster care families, we have no idea what the needs are. We don't even know how to help, even if we knew what the needs were. So your organization, I think, is so critical, so important to give that help, to give that aid, and to give the guidance to people who have the heart to help, but maybe not understand how. So I love that. I love that. So obviously that's a little bit of your vision, right, is to help those foster families survive and thrive.
Yes.